In this tutorial, we're going to take a look at transforms and distortions. I'm going to go to the rectangle tool, click and drag, and create a simple rectangle. And I can do another one over here. And the reason I'm going to do this one over here is I want to actually make it a little bit more complex. So it has some window looking things in here. And I'm going to select the inside of those windows and delete them so I've left holes. That way I kind of have like a wall or something like that I'm creating. Now I'm going to go back to the original object, select it with the black arrow, and this is actually not an object, it's a shape, so that should be pointed out that we are still drawing in shape mode. I have my toolbar double wide so I can see all of the options, which really is not a bad idea to save this as the default. It can be kind of frustrating when you can't see all the options, so I like to be able to. Sometimes just this wide is good, that way you have them in a single row, but you have a little bit more room at the bottom, which I like better than being really, really narrow myself. I often go with a double look because that reflects the original settings for the tools in Flash. Anyway, to distort this or to transform it, I'm going to go to the Transform, Free Transform tool, and you'll notice that the tool gives me a bounding box. Well, I can just click and drag around this object and change its scale. Now you can do a couple different things. Hold down the Shift key to make sure it's constrained, and you can also hold down the Alt key to make sure that your transform point, which is that white point in the middle, is used as the origin point for whatever you're doing. Now you can move that point just by dragging it somewhere else. And now when I scale this object, you can see with just the Shift key held down, or without the Shift key, it seems to scale that object, but if I hold down the Alt key, it's making sure that the transform happens from that point. With the Alt and Shift key, it does a constrained transform from that point. So wherever you move that point can be really, really important. If you double click it, it generally goes to the center of your object or shape, or to the origin point of the symbol or something like that for later. Now we can also do distortions, and you can create a distortion by holding down the Control key as you click up on an object, but it doesn't give you quite as much flexibility as the next tool. So I'm going to undo this just a little bit. So Control Z twice. If you go over to the Distort tool over on the left-hand side, or right-hand side, then you have a little bit more control of how you distort this because it doesn't refresh your view each time you distort. Now, what makes this Distort tool so powerful is that you can distort complex objects pretty easily. So I'm going to click on that Distort tool again. So let's make sure it's toggled on. There we go. And you'll see that I can create like a wall here. So this will actually make it look like I have a wall, and it will make sure that all the lines are parallel as needed, so I can draw things in 2D perspective very easily in Flash using that particular tool. So that's a really nice feature. Now we can also do things such as warp text. I'm going to go ahead and put my name, or maybe hello, and I'm going to make this much, much bigger by scaling up that text to a larger size. Now this is text which I cannot distort, so I do need to convert it to let's say to regular shapes. In order to do that, right click and choose break apart, and then right click one more time and choose break apart until you see just the series of dots. Now with the free transform tool, I can go to the envelope tool and look at how I can control this a lot. So this can be a lot of fun to play with, and you can do some really creative things with text and graphics when you use that particular tool. The only problem with it is that there are no presets and you have to do everything manual. But let's just say that you had something really fun like a band of colors on this. I can select that whole thing, go to the free transform tool, use the envelope distort, and create any sort of look that I want for that, which can be really kind of fun. So please explore these particular tools and save your work when you're done, and go on.